ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Comics News Today for the 4th of December. Boy, things are trucking right along, and we're going to be Christmas is going to be upon us before we know it. One of the things I'm going to have to think about and talk about with my crew here is coming up that week of Christmas. I might have to actually drop an entire week because I have a lot of things going on, and I really need to take my computer into the tech nerds over at the place where I have them take care of my computer because I really need to set it in for various things. But we'll have to discuss that. But nevertheless, we're very happy you guys are here today. Please check out our links down below. In particular, go ahead and send me a Twitter and tweet, I guess it's called, to let me know if you want to be on any of our shows or if you want to be on the Drone Record Ultimate Edition. We're really happy to have you guys get involved with that stuff. But beyond that, we do have a lot of news to get to today, and some of it's some kind of just little short stuff, but it's pretty interesting. Quite a bit of comic book stuff today, which is always makes me
What?
happy. Yeah, I know.
Comic book news on comic book news today?
Right. It's shocking.
That is
It's
just haram. That is just
it
simply.
is haram indeed. But of course, you
We don't
guys,
we don't
yeah.
discuss the comics news here.
Well, as you
It's
guys
like a
can hear,
tiger in Africa.
we do have an oily pie expert from New Zealand. His name is Booster. Hi.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Booster. That's what I do. That's my entire personality summed up. Thank you, Chester.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Uh,
Yeah, and I'm just. Oh no, I won't. I was going to say something really mean, but I won't say it.
do it. Do
no,
it, coward.
I'm not doing it.
Do it.
I'm not doing it.
Do it, coward.
I'm afraid.
I'm taking on a really staunch stance. Just me. Do it, coward. I'm doing a Shia buff on you.
Everybody seems to be angsty today. I wonder what that is. I'm always the chill peace guy. I got no.
I don't
got
tolerate
no
people that say they're gonna say something and don't say it.
Yeah, but it
Pisses
was
me off because I
something
get really
involved.
curious.
Well, it was something involving urine stains, and it's all right. Let's just leave it at that. But you guys also notice that we have the Dinale Llama with us today. How you doing, dude?
I am doing fantastic, aside of the what we talked about earlier. But
Yeah.
it's chilly. It's Florida. It's chilly Florida, and that's about it.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, it's nice to have a little
Yeah.
bit of cool weather from time to time.
Mhm.
But we won't get into the science of it. But it seems that we will start getting some cooler weather over the next 80 to 100 years anyway. But nevertheless, glad that you're here. Of course, George is with us as well. How you doing, George?
I'm doing fine. I'm very relaxed. I got my angst out
Did you?
in the pre-show, so I'm just going to be chilling.
I think that's a lie, George. I feel like that's a lie.
I think he's chilling.
Well, you're just going to have to prove it, sir, or
right.
you're going to have to impeach me.
There you go. There you go.
All right. All motion to pass the impeachment of George Gertzis from Fanspeak. Say aye.
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 Don't jump in.
Oh my goodness! Two people
abstained.
What does that mean, Booster?
Aye.
Oh, there you go. It's official.
All right. You're out, George.
Right.
No, I think he was trying to say, "I want to save George." I think he was trying to say
Todd. Todd said that. All right. Hi, Todd.
Todd being merciful.
True. Right. How you doing, brother?
Good.
Yeah, nice to have you on here. You actually sound super laid back and relaxed. Did you have yourself a good day or something?
Oh no, probably the opposite.
Oh,
really?
Oh.
Well, you had a little toy kiwi.
Yeah, that was brought back
cutie.
from my daughter from her aunt went to Australia recently.
Australia. That's where kiwis come
and New
from.
Zealand. She went to both places, like a National Geographic type thing.
She didn't even come see me. I see how it is.
Oh, there you go. Actually, I have yours seemed to be squeaky. Mine was just plushy, but I have a little kiwi in my classroom at school. Actually, because my students they took it's quite standard in the school. One of the high schools near us, they will take an annual trip with the students. It's like a working holiday type of thing, but they go to New Zealand. So one of the students brought me back a little teeny kiwi.
So what did you name this little kiwi? Booster-san?
No, I named him Kichi.
That's an okay name.
It's a pretty good name, I think.
Oh, Booster-san, that would have been a great name.
Well, I didn't know you at the time. But
then you should get all the girls to take a photo with the little kiwi and kiss his little cheekies.
Oh, you
Send
know
that to
what?
me.
Oh, you know what? That's
Go,
happening.
oh,
No,
Booster-san.
no, I'm going to make that happen. Actually, next week.
It's happening.
Next week it's happening. I'm going to do it. Let's
Oh
see,
yeah.
which class should I do? Let's think about it. Should I do it with the kindergartners? That would be cute.
No.
No. I'm going to do it
No,
with
no.
the junior high schoolers. That's perfect for you.
Do it with the hot ones.
Well, they're all kids,
What?
dude. I don't know which one's
What?
hot. They're children.
Oh, what? There's no I don't know, 16-year-olds. That's legal for me. Huh? Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
well, I do have them, but they're not cute. I hope they're not listening.
Moving on,
Oh.
and we have Dinale here.
Yeah.
We already said hello to Denali. Pay attention,
Yeah.
George. Anyway,
He
but
said
I'm
hello
going.
tonight. He
Yeah.
got his hello.
You know what? I actually have a Wednesday night class that is full of 56-year-old ladies. That's the one that's going to be doing it.
Nice.
That's it. The bachan kisses are coming. All right.
I can work with that.
He can work with that. There you go.
Yeah.
Love at any age is fine. But nevertheless, guys, thank you very much. Let me jump over here and see who's in the chat. Ooh, we got a bunch of people in here already. Eric Hawkins says, first, take that, Dillard. Goodness. Thunder says, oh, this is where Booster is. Yes, this is where he should be. Thank you. March Hare is in here, and he says hi. Thunder is continuing. He says, it's because this is the eve of the greatest day in the history of the world. Okay. You're going to have to elaborate upon that, sir.
It's must be drawn and quartered fan edition Eve.
It must be.
Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate edition.
Well, there you go. DeWolf is in here, and he says, Pixel is the first with a card in the mail. Oh, that's sweet. Eric says, we are all going to be dead in 12 years thanks to global warming. Make those comics while you can. Thank you very much, Eric. Very true. And March Air laughs. Booster! From Eric Hawkins.
Must be from my lewd comment. I didn't realize how young they were, okay?
Right? Pixel said, yo, Booster, puts the booster in the booster seat. Oh, that's painful, dude. That one hurt. I hurt me. Damn. Goodness gracious. And Eric Boyd says, howdy, all. Well, howdy to you. Sweet. Now, we got a lot of news to get to, so I need to jump right into it. So here we go. Let me share this up. And we'll all try to ignore the pedophilia of Booster. All right.
That was none of that.
Ouch.
All right. Now, these first few things, I will let Dinale go ahead and do what he does, but we're going to do these real quick. These are things from Somali. We love and appreciate Somali and everybody else who puts stuff up. But these are just kind of like little teeny conversation comic book pieces, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on them, but there are many of them, so I think it's cool. Go ahead.
So from Newsarama, Britta Baker and Phillips delve into the 1930 crime drama with Pulp. So I guess they're making a new comic book, and it's going to be Pulp 1930s.
Yeah, no, and I think it's really cool. You know, we have talked over the past few weeks about several books that are coming out from people I've never heard of, or I've heard of, but I haven't heard of the comic book company or whatever. But it seems that this is this 30s, 20s, 30s, type of period seems to be making a comeback. And it's I don't know, is that good or bad, Todd?
I don't know. I guess if you like that kind of thing. I mean, Ed Brubaker writes some of the best.
Oh, no, absolutely, dude. And this art is beautiful. I just thought it was kind of interesting that we're seeing this because fads do flow back and forth. They do cycle. And it seems to be this is a fad that's going on, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. But I do like Ed Brubaker. That's for damn sure. And I love this art. This is beautiful.
Yeah, Sean Phillips works with him pretty much exclusively. They've been doing Criminals and
yeah, that's right.
Other crime stuff that they did at Image.
Yeah, so they're just kind of doing a retro version of it. That's cool. Anybody have any comments or any knowledge of this that I don't have?
Well, I think a kind of sort of answer to your earlier question is it's more back to the basic because a lot of the writing, a lot of the storytelling skills come from these pulp books.
Fair point. Yeah.
So it's kind of back to basic if you want to think about it like that.
Yeah, well, and that's a really, really good point, actually. And I remember an interview with Stan Lee, many years ago. But he was talking about exactly that because he earned his teeth in the trenches. Doing this kind of stuff, this just constantly writing these pulp stories and these kind of stories over and over and over and over for decades, right? And it's what built him up into being this really, really good storyteller. And then, of course, when he finally did open timely or Marvel with Kirby and Ditko, he was well ready, right? So
Right.
it's interesting. If you guys haven't seen that interview, go check it out. But he's quite candid, actually, because Stan is usually always promoting and selling, with a smile. That's kind of his thing, or was his thing. But that was a very candid interview. That was cool. Anything else on this, George?
What a bunch of amateurs. Why can't they just stick to the basics?
Oh God, George. Here it is. But there's Nazis involved, and I don't think it's cool, dude. And I'm liking this retro thing. Maybe. It might be growing on me. I don't know. I have to wait and see. Next, ooh, there's another one talking about stuff.
Yep. Yep. Mar Wolfman reflects on the 10-year story of Man and Superman as a deluxe edition hit stores.
Now that's kind of cool. Marv Wolfman's 10-year story, a deluxe edition, the Man and Superman. Now, what are they talking about? Which Marv Wolfman run was there? I'm not. I don't even know this book.
This was with the confidential title, Superman Confidentials, where he wrote
Oh, okay.
about this. So they collected it into Man and Superman. Basically, another exploration. What makes Clark Clark and what makes Superman Superman kind of deal. And how the two
Okay.
are intertwined. Yeah.
That's cool, and I love the cover because it's got a very classic Superman. Although I'm not really sure on the face on that, but I get what they're trying to do with the whole godly thing, and of course the movies really try to push that as well. But what I do love the most is we have Martha and Pa Kent here, holding hands, and of course if you're gonna have any conversation about why Superman is the way he is, why Kal-El is Kal-El, it's because of these two people. And that's such an important factor of Superman that a lot of people, when they're trying to retell Superman, or particularly with that Man of Steel movie, they don't get it. They don't. They don't understand that it's because of these humans, these lowly humans, that he is the heroic white knight that he is. Right? It's a very, very important dynamic in the story, and they tend to miss that a lot. It sounds like Mr. Wolfman didn't. Good on you, dude.
Well, what
Right.
what about the fact that the story of Superman is literally a biblical version of Moses?
It's one of the greatest stories ever told, George. It sounds like a good source material to me.
It does, and a lot of people keep right over their heads.
Yeah, fair enough. But
I like when Superman
wait.
parts the Red Sea with his super strength, and he says he's all like, "Let my people go," and Lex Luthor's like, "No."
And then God cursed him with baldness
Mm-hmm.
oh,
because he used to be ginger.
that's
He
sad.
said, "Damn you, Superman! You made God hate me." I remember. Yeah, I remember that comic.
Who is this artist, Todd?
I don't recognize it.
Because
It's good stuff.
it's good art. It is good art, but it just strikes me as millennial.
You think
I
so?
don't know. Go back to the cover.
And even that too. I'm just kind of going down through. It's really good art though. It's solid art.
There's a lot of panels. My
It
goodness.
is. It's well done though.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is not new art; it's old. But let me go back to the cover here. Oh,
Claudio's.
it told me right there, Claudio. Yeah, Castellini.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah, he
art.
did
Oh, that's cool. I like
a
that.
huge run on Silver Surfer. Probably the
Oh,
last good run.
okay.
That was
And he
there.
loves to use shadow and stuff like that. I've seen several shadow takes in the various panels. Yeah, it looks good, man. And I haven't read this one. I don't know this one, but I love Superman. This might be worth picking up. and Marv Wolfman is very accomplished. Do you guys like Marv Wolfman, or do you find him annoying, or what's
Yeah,
the general
He's good.
consensus?
he's a great writer on Titans. He's a great writer on Tomb of Dracula.
Hmm?
Um, I mean, the guy is very, very well crafted for the comic book genre.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've read some of his stuff, and the horror stuff I think is what I read the most of. But I know we have certain peoples in our community that the only Marv Wolfman that exists is stuff that is written about Starfire. So,
Hmm.
oh, it is. But
But
anyway, cool.
yeah, and just to add to what you were saying about Ma and Pa Kent, if you really want to see what happens to Superman if he's raised by the left, with Elizabeth Banks and all that, watch James Gunn's Brightburn. That's what happens if Superman isn't raised right.
Yeah, no, and of course, if you look at things logistically, I mean, or not logistically, literally, um, if you had this kind of baby that came and had this kind of power, that would be an almost impossible task to manage that being into something benevolent. Because by our nature, we are quite vicious things, and if you've ever been around children at all, you know how evil children can be,
Oh
and
yeah,
it
that's why
comes.
you need to beat them.
Well, no, and it comes off
Hmm.
harder than you would expect because they don't really understand what they're doing. They're unaware. This isn't insidious or malicious. It just is there. It's just the nature of the human, right? And kids need civilizing. That's why we put them in school, right? That's the whole point of school and even church to a point. It's about civilizing the human. And if you up the ante with that, with a being that is Superman, it's a god. I mean, just imagine having to deal with that. And there is a comic that came out now. Maybe you guys can help me with the name of it. I read it a long time ago, but it was basically another Superman Elseworld. They love doing Elseworlds on Superman because they can't write the character otherwise. But he had been found by the government instead of the Kents, and he was raised from a child, and they kept putting families around him. And it seems like in the boys, the TV interpretation of the boys, that they kind of did the same thing with Homelander. But he was just accidentally killing people left and right. Right. What comic was that? You guys remember? It was an
Are
Elseworld
you thinking
story.
of Flashpoint, where
I
he
think,
becomes
yeah,
extremely skinny, or
And I
if he was extremely skinny, then that's Flashpoint.
Maybe well, no, in the end, maybe, but in the beginning, they're telling the story of, when they found him, and he was, a lot of people died around him by just sheer accident or just the the typical kind of angry, instant anger that can come out of a child, and it comes out of nowhere, and it can be, this raw, I want you dead type of anger, and then a minute later, they're the happy little can I have a lollipop thing again. It's kids, right? It's what they are. Dealing with children, not only as a parent, but with me as a teacher, I have far more exposure. Kids are interesting because they show our nature so unfettered. It's an interesting thing. But anyway, I'm kind of beating this thing to death. But I think I might check this out because I have read Marv Wolfman before. I do think he's a good writer, and I love Superman. And it sounds like this is showing appreciation to Superman instead of trying to hate on the character.
Bendis?
Yeah, right. God, I freaking Bendis. Anyway, all right, moving on. Next one. We got a bunch of comic book stuff to get through. Go ahead.
All right, Conan Serpent War, an epic pulp fantasy bringing Marvel into the Hyborian Age.
Ooh,
Is that Moon Knight back there?
it is, dude. It is.
Moon
That's
Yes,
Knight and
Solomon Kane
Conan.
over here as well.
That sounds wild.
Yeah. Well, I saw this one from Somaline. I popped it up, not necessarily to talk whatever this article is talking about, but just to talk about Conan in general. Because me personally, and I know there's going to be different opinions, and I kind of want to hear what everyone's opinions are. When the Marvel Conan came out, and I know how important it is. I understand how important it is because without the Marvel comics, the Conan comics, we would not have had that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and Conan would not be the cultural icon that it is. That's a plain, simple truth to that. But I didn't really care for the Marvel run. Now I don't know what it was. It could have been my age, I suppose. I don't know what it was, but I didn't care for it. But when Dark Horse came out, I was like blown away. I was blown away. It was just this amazing thing, and it's in my opinion, as far as a run, a comic book run, that Dark Horse run of Conan is one of the best I've ever seen. It's just stunningly good writing, stunningly good art. I adored it, right? But now that Marvel's come back with Conan, I've read several of them, and the only one that sucks really bad is Bellet, and the Bellet one is absolutely SJW trash. Don't waste your time. But the Conan stuff is really good, man. So I'm excited about another Conan book. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know if this is going to be a permanent book or one of those miniseries, but anyway, I'll get into the article in a second. But I'm kind of curious what these guys think because I imagine they probably disagree with me. Let's start with Todd because I can already hear his angst.
Well, they're having success with Conan.
They are. Yeah.
So, but it's a little overkill because he's popping up all over the place. He's in something called Savage Avengers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's actually in modern time. But I don't think I would have jumped that fast. I would have just let it breathe a little bit and then slowly. But they seem to be going all in. But
They
it's, you
do.
know why? Europeans care about Conan.
That's true. That is very
It's
true.
not. It's crossing over to some of the other, um, markets
What do you
where
think about
superheroes
my comments
don't.
about the original Marvel run compared to the Dark Horse run?
I don't really want to hurt you right now, so just let it go, right?
Amen, right? How about you, George? George has no opinion. How about you, Denali?
Actually, I came into I actually enjoy the how Dark Horse runs better than the Marvel
Yeah.
ones. I mean, there was a little bit more rawness to the Marvel run with Roy Thomas that I enjoyed, but I got more enjoyment from Dundar than the comic book version of it.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
but I do agree with the Dark Horse. There is a polish and a slickness to it that I really appreciate and collected all of those titles um, when they were still under license with Dark Horse.
All right. Well, there you go. And I'm just reading through this article real quick. It sounds like this is just a comic launch. This doesn't sound like a miniseries at all. Hmm. Interesting. But yeah, no, I agree 100%. But then again, I don't take anything away from the Marvel run because I know how important it was for Conan existing today. You can't you must acknowledge the fact that that those guys when they brought out that Conan it solidified the character in the culture, right? In the
The, the
zeitgeist. Yeah.
the Conan line, I think I've said this before, at its height was 4 floppies and 2 magazines.
Yeah.
So
No.
it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it sold more than anything else
Yeah. And
for a while. I think the main Conan book though was a little dumbed down. Um, even though it was drawn a lot, John Buscema did a lot of the issues in there,
mhm.
but you could read it inside of like 10 minutes. It wasn't heavy, but doesn't mean there wasn't heavy Conan stories. They just weren't in the main book.
Yeah. Maybe that was part of
Right.
it. Yeah. But I mean, it blew up so far beyond that, even though Todd, because I mean, we got to talk about the fact that we had the movie, of course. So it's been 3 movies so far, although only one of them was really good. We have board games, we have video games, we have TV games, and there is even a couple of role playing games. Now, there was one back that came out in the 80s, taking off the popularity of the Conan movie that was so so. But recently, working with the Howard estate, you had a group of the top end, role-playing creators came together, and they created an absolutely stunning role-playing game campaign setting for Conan. And it's kind of interesting that when they were selling it through the Kickstarter of that event that was going on, they actually played an entire session, Conan RPG session, in Howard's childhood home. Or no, it wasn't his childhood home. It was his home, because it's kind of like a mini museum to Howard. And they were actually got permission because they were working with the family, and they actually played at the kitchen table. It was just so cool. I mean, I know we're a bunch of nerds, Todd, but that was a really cool thing. So I mean, it spawned that comic book run from Marvel spawned just a ridiculous amount of things, right?
Right.
You got an opinion on this, Booster?
Oh no, I don't know anything about Conan.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Not
and
into barbarian stuff, I guess. It just, I guess, never appealed. But I don't know if there's anything good that I should be reading. Let me know. But I just don't really see the appeal of Conan myself.
well, the new books are pretty good. I would suggest them,
Mm.
except for Bellet. Bellet is pure SJW, and I guess
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
to give them that, right? And it's unfortunate because Bellet, if you read the character, it would never be. She would kill SJWs actually, but
Mm-hmm.
so we'll give them that though because we have two solid Conan books, and it sounds like there's a lot of little things going on, and then you got this one, and this got interesting too because we got Conan working with Moon Knight with the Egyptian connection. We have Solomon Kane, and then I can't remember her name, but Howard did create a female character that had a little bit of popularity. I can't remember her name though. Let me see if I can find it here. This is the character. She's overdressed, incredibly overdressed, but then again, she's coming from a period where she would be. Vanessa Del Rey. No, that's the person doing it. Try to find it here. Damn it, I can't remember her name. Oh well, it's not that important. But it is a Howard character. So we have three
Yeah.
Howard characters here. Let me go back up to the top. We have three Howard characters here and a Marvel character. It's kind of interesting. I wonder why they would add Moon Knight in. I mean, I get he's got the Egyptian connection, but you have three solid Howard characters, which are
It's
in
it's
his
it's the
universe.
snake. Yeah, it's the snake connections. Each character had a snake foe. They're tying into it all together.
Oh, yeah, oh, I get it. Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. I got it.
Mhm.
Sweet, moving on. But I'm happy about that, dude. I'm happy about everything they're doing with Conan right now, pretty much. And I try to ignore it and just give him one, but it did make me a little sad about the Bellet thing because if you read the books, Bellet is such a cool character, man. It's really it made me sad, but that's all right. We'll give him one. We're gonna give him one. Oh God, Todd McFarlane. Go ahead, dude.
Right. So this is from IGN. Todd McFarlane vows to get the Spawn reboot made with or without studio backing. I have
Okay.
people with money on the sideline.
All right.
Oh my god, we gotta stop making an article every time Todd McFarlane says something because he's been saying this for over a decade now. It's
More,
not
more,
happening.
more than a decade, dude. More than a decade. But yeah, no, it's he constantly keeps saying this, and I'm not applying, SJW-ness to Mr. McFarlane, but what I am saying is we see this happening a lot these days with the SJWs, and we have this little story. Most of you probably know it. You probably read it when you were a kid, or it was read to you, or you've seen some manner of adaptation of it. But we call it the little boy who cried wolf. If you haven't checked it out, you go see. It's pretty clear. It's not very convoluted. I think you can understand the point. When you keep saying something over and over and over, and nothing happens, and then when it actually happens, no one believes it, and therefore you make no money. Yeah.
Chester, that original story in history was created in 1750, and it was originally the little boy who cried Booster.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Booster, you can go ahead and say.
Mhm.
I'll let you say, "Shut up, George." You can do that.
I thought it was the little boy that a booster made cry
Oh,
because he wouldn't
Jesus
behave.
Christ. He's
Oh
sticking.
wow, we're sticking with that theme, are we?
He's sticking on the grade schoolers. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, goodness gracious. We got a namaste coming in from DeWolf over in the chat. Thank you very much. This looks interesting. I think it does. Aloha from Bianca Fights the Zombies. What a cool name. Mr. Thunder says it's wonderful. The world needs it. Sweet. And I think we're talking about Marv Wolfman in here at the time, and that's cool. He's quite popular. Does 1130s count? Sure. I don't know what you're talking about, but rock on, dude. Pixel says the art style reminds me of how Jeff Lafferty does his realistic work. Oh, interesting. Rodimus Flash says, "I'm all for pulp. The cover is pretty, but that looks nothing like Jarvis Cocker." Okay. Pouring out one for Stan. Yeah, dude, we should do that daily. Eric says, "Exactly, Chester. Spot on about Kent's. Yeah, it is what it is. It's just it's shocking to me how many of these modern people miss that essential point about Superman. I don't. How do you miss it? It's like, how does your brain work? I don't know. March Hare says the humans and their Midwestern values. Yeah, right. It just it just doesn't work in the modern society. They're just a bunch of Nazis. James Beveridge, which is a great name. Art styles change through time. Drawing, painting, sculpture all evolve. They do. Absolutely. Booster was a wild child. You do realize he's still a child, Eric.
I'm a little boy.
He's a little boy. Flashpoint. Thank you very much,
Wild.
March Hare. You guys are right. Superman Red Sun. No, I think that's when he was brought up by the Russians, right? I don't know if did they
Yeah.
show his childhood in that story? Because I did read that one too. I did read it.
I don't think so.
Yeah. They showed little Clark actually being read to.
Oh, okay. Did he kill anybody?
No, he just did a lot of reading in the library.
I don't. Okay, then thank you, George.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It's very useful. But actually, the Red Sun, Superman, and the Homelander are identical, I think. But let's see. Airboy says, "I don't know Europeans cared about. I didn't know Europeans cared about Conan. Oh no, Conan's been very popular in Europe for a very long time, actually. Uh, which is
Oh, you're
interesting.
right there.
I'm fine. Which is interesting to me because." The Europeans usually hate everything we do and look down on us, at least publicly. Let's see. Let's see. Don't hurt them, Hammer. Jiminy says, "Hey, Jiminy, I saw that post you put on Fanspeak, dude. It looks like you got an upcoming comic book, horror comic book coming up. That was an absolutely stellar piece of art, dude. Absolutely stellar. I'm not surprised, of course. Jiminy Cricket is absolutely awesome. But that was really cool. If you guys haven't seen that art that Jiminy posted, go check on the Fanspeak. It's really good. You got
It's
Joshua
good
Hughes.
stuff. It's really cool.
It is really cool, yeah. You got Joshua Hughes. It's news. Hey, Joshua, nice to see you, dude. Eric Hawkins says, Chester, don't forget Jiminy was huge. Jiminy has huge comics news regarding Nasser. He does. Well, Jiminy, give us the news. Let's hear about the Nasser. Let's see here. Red Sonja. No, it's not. No, it's not Red Sonja. March Hare. That would be cool too. But it's not Red Sonja. It's that girl that was connected to the Solomon Kane stories. Much later, of course. Well, the Hyborian Age is like after the Cataclysm, so like 10,000 years ago, or something like that. But I just can't remember her name, but there was an actual character he wrote books about. She was a female. She was very similar to Solomon Kane. I just can't remember the name. Everyone's saying Red Sonja. No, it's not. And who knows? Maybe Marvel has somehow twisted Red Sonja into a modern form, but that would be odd. Anyway, cool. I've caught up with the chat. Let me come over here and
Right.
move on.
They don't have the right for Red Sonja, so that's why they're using this lady that we're trying to remember the name of.
Yeah, someone do a search on that real quick. He did write books about her. It's not illegitimate. It's a real character. Anyway, moving on here. Ooh. We'll let Booster take this one if you don't mind, Dinale. This is up his alley.
Go
ahead, dude.
Go ahead.
Here we are. PlayStation Store confirms existence of Resident Evil 3 remake.
Ooh.
Cool.
Ooh.
It's happening.
I hope so, dude.
And that means more content for Matt's channel. Hooray!
Yay for your buddy, yeah. But no, actually, Resident Evil 3 was very popular episode in with this video game. A remake of that, which we've been seeing a lot of remakes in the video game world, and I'm for it. Some people think
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
waste of time, and they're kind of getting upset, but I'm all for it, dude. I think it's cool.
I'm absolutely for it. Some
Yeah.
of these games, we've only just really started mastering the art of making a game performance-wise, right? You know,
Yeah.
getting the aspect ratio, the resolution, and frame rate all perfect, right, and making sure that all bloody works. Some of these games in older eras didn't work as well. It's a great opportunity to buff out all those mistakes and make them look fantastic. Have you seen the Shadow of the Colossus remake?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's stunning, dude. Yeah,
Right?
and
And the Resident Evil 2 remake wasn't just like some retexturing or just some a HD res up, right? It was a full from the from the ground up remake.
yeah, it
They've
was.
camera angles, gameplay, cutscenes, everything. It was a
Yeah.
fantastic remake, and I hope they do the same with the third one.
Yeah, and I think they will, dude, because it's very popular and they're making money off of it. We have seen some just graphic update reboots. We have seen that, but you also have like the Final Fantasy remake that's coming out. But some of the complaints are not necessarily about the beauty of the thing, but it's there have been some changes to gameplay that people don't appreciate, and of course one of the big complaints is there is some of this progressivism leaking into the remakes, covering boobs and reducing boob size and a lot of things to do with boobs, a lot of boob stuff.
It's always. I'm not gonna lie. Tifa's tits in the new remake still look fantastic.
They do look good, but I get the complaint though. I understand. Why mess with
I
the
mean,
thing?
she went from
Yeah.
like a double G to like a to like a practical double D. She's looking
She's
good,
more
boys.
practical, yeah.
Uh,
But we've also seen that with those cosmetic overhauls, right? And they just go in and cover up stuff, and there's a lot of it. And the fans are like, "Dude, quit messing with the past. It's grandfathered in. Leave it alone." And I kind of get that argument, but I just thought this was really cool news that Somali put up for us video game guys. Resident Evil 3 was a big hit. I mean, it was very, very popular,
I'm
and
looking forward to playing it.
it's the one. I'm kind of surprised they didn't make this one before making Resident Evil 2. Really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
Well, they've been doing it in order. They've also got the first one all
yeah,
remade
no, I
and
get it.
everything.
I get it. But this is a
I
big
just
one.
hope Matt doesn't make me play this on hardcore right from the get go again.
You did well though, dude. I mean,
I did pretty well.
we joke around with Booster here a lot, and that's the shtick, and we have fun. But
Yeah,
Booster's
I
actually a
can
pretty
take
good
it.
gamer, dude.
Yeah, that's my one talent. Good for me. I
No,
got
you're
good at
pretty
video
good.
games.
Dude, you did a straight run hardcore on the new Biohazard, dude.
Resident Evil 2. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, not
I
the
did
no, the new Biohazard, the new Resident Evil. Yeah, you sent me a copy of it, right?
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sweet. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Sorry for the rest of you guys who don't have any love for video games, but we're done now. It's
Yeah.
Oh my God, why, Dinale? God.
Uh-oh.
Right. But before I go, it's Dark Angus, which is the girl's name that we were forgetting.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Right. And then Booster needs to retell everybody the epic tale of how he tried to give away the Biohazard video game because nobody wanted it.
Hey, I was
But-
third.
Here's third. That's right. That's right. Yeah, we did a little competition where if you guessed how many times I died, we'd send out a free copy of the game for you. But
Uh-huh.
two people were like, "Nah, I don't want it." So, oh, okay.
I was happy to
Yeah.
take it. Why not? Free game. I mean,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
you need is a Steam account. I mean, who doesn't have a Steam account?
Right.
I mean, goodness.
All right. So this is from Bounty into comment. Alex Kurtman says that the Borg story will be different in Star Trek Picard. 25% different because of simulation.
Right.
It's maybe somewhat not futile.
Oh man, please no more Alex Kurtzman. I thought you guys fired him. What the hell? Why are we hearing any words from this absolute millennial cuck? Why? I mean, there's a lot of people who irk me these days for sure. But this guy's got to be at the top of the list, Alex Kurtzman, because I'm a Trekkie, right? I love Star Trek.
Mhm.
Star Wars is cool too, but I love Star Trek, and that oh goodness, I want to say bad things. I This guy really pissed me off, and of course they reduced his job because he failed miserably with STD, right? So, but my thing is, why is he even around at all? Why am I hearing anything from Alex Kurtzman? Sorry, I do apologize.
Because it's Hollywood and they haven't fully fired him,
Yeah,
so
but,
he has to be like the face.
yeah, but he failed an STD completely. He got reduced in rank in his job because of it, and now they're sitting here telling me he's the frickin' showrunner for Picard. Once again, failing up with these people. Unbelievable.
hmm I mean, I don't think he has a lot of to do. I think he's just name only, but it's keeping him away from the show probably might be a good thing. But then again, he's the destruction's already happened, so you get your mileage out of it.
I love this picture though because we have the happy homosexual on the left, and then we have this person who I never, ever, ever cared for. Does anyone like Frank's or his character number one?
You
He's
don't like
more
Jonathan Frakes?
he's more like a number two right now. Hmm.
Yeah, I never cared for Franks, man. I mean, nothing against him personally. I just didn't like the number one character at all. It was just this annoying thing. I get what they were trying to do with it. I understood the older, controlled, thoughtful captain and the brash young Captain Kirk type of captain. But the problem with that is, it seems to me that a huge number of people really don't understand Captain Kirk. They think he was just this brash guy that run around with without even thinking, and it's like, have you ever watched the show? The guy was constantly thinking about what he was doing. He was constantly thinking about the safety of his crew. He was truly demoralized when his crew was injured or killed. Being a red shirt is not a good thing. But he wasn't brash. He just, when he took action, he took action. And they don't understand this. And the next generation, which I didn't, I loved it. Of course, is that generation that loves it more than I do. But that's what they were trying to do, was the dynamic of what a captain should be, and then the Captain Kirk style. But it's not really the Captain Kirk. He's actually in the middle of it. He's kind of more of the perfect captain. Of that the kind of action involved captain, where Picard is the guy that stays on the bridge of this gigantic ship. But anyway, did I just get super nerdy? Did something like that happen?
Yes.
No.
Oh well. Now, you guys seen the
Yeah.
trailer? What do you think about this new Picard?
That's all the best shots that they presented,
Yeah.
which means that it's downhill from there. I mean,
Well,
I hope it's not, but reality is usually disappointing.
yeah. Well, I'm going to give it a shot. Of course, I'm going to give it a shot. But I imagine there'll be some statements for us stupid, ignorant people who don't understand how politics should work. I'm sure there'll be plenty of that. But it might be interesting. Me mainly because they've never truly explored the Romulans, I feel. They did do in a series with DS9, I think it was on DS9, where they were had Spock, actually Leonard Nimoy was doing stuff with the Romulans. So there were some episodes, and there was some delving out of it. But I just don't feel like they've covered it enough. So to have something that's delving into the Romulans, I think could be cool. It could be cool. But yeah, anyway, I don't know what to say. Anybody have any comments on this?
Remember, it's bad reboot. 25% different Romulans as
Oh
well.
no, I know. I don't have faith that it's going to be awesome, but it could be
Mhm.
okay. Okay, I'd take okay. I'd take that, because Discovery was bad. That was straight up bad. And I mean, it shows you how bad it is, because if you take all the SJW stuff away from STD, it's still bad. Yeah, it's really bad. So all I can say is I'm going to give it a shot. Anyway, moving on. Oh, Everyone, hands up. Amen. Everyone, hands up.
And then,
Amen.
Mhm.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh yeah.
So from Newsarama, Stan Lee tribute is coming to ABC.
Finally.
hmm I know we were talking about it a couple months ago that it's kind of strange that ABC hasn't done a tribute now. They
Yeah. More
are
than a
doing it
couple months
for.
ago, dude.
Oh, and it's funny. It's on December 20th on ABC.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it because I have a thing called a VPN, and they're legal.
Mm.
I think they're legal. But anyway,
Kind of legal.
I'm pretty sure they're legal. But good on you, ABC. Of course, ABC is going to be, of course, it was ABC. Yeah, ABC. ABC, of course, is owned by Disney. So it took them long enough. But I guess they weren't ready for it. And it's not like anyone had any expectations that Stan Lee was going to be passing anytime soon. No, of course not. So I guess they just like, oh my God, we got to do something. And it took them many, many, many months to produce something. But hey, at least it's coming, right? At least finally something. Because I have to say, and I'd like to have your guys' opinion. Um, when Stan did pass, I thought what DC Comics said and what they did as a tribute to Stan in their comic books was tasteful and it was very cool, and I applauded it. But what Marvel did
Mhm.
was it seemed to be just throwaway and it seemed to be insincere. Uh,
Oh, this guy died.
yeah, I mean, but it felt that way, didn't it? It felt
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way. The same thing when we had Kirby's anniversary came up. DC did a pretty good job of showing respect to Kirby. Marvel, nothing, nothing at all, actually.
Mm.
So at least they said they did something for Stan, but it was like, I mean, come on, dude, he made your company, you absolute dicks, right? Because that's what I felt. I felt it was completely disrespect coming out of Marvel comic books, and at least we're getting something here. But that's my opinion. Anyone here want to make a comment or have an opinion on Marvel's treatment of Stan so far, or this in general?
Well, it's disappointing that it took them all this months to actually do a tribute. It's kind of funny that they're releasing this
So,
I mean,
on this on the same day as Star Wars, but
Yeah, right.
there was
uh,
a live tribute where they actually gave out this really awesome comic that was done when they did the New York Comic Con. They had like I think it was Radio City or whatever, where the Rockettes do their thing. So they
Well,
Jersey Rock.
yeah, Radio
they
City. Yeah.
yeah. So they rented that out and they had this huge tribute for him, and people spoke on stage and stuff.
Well, that's cool.
It's
That's
supposed to be.
cool.
I think it was air. I think will be aired, but it was filmed. I know that.
Yeah, well, that is cool to hear. But what do you think about
Mhm.
the overall general public's, presentation of Marvel's respect for their creator?
I didn't. I don't know. I think you're saying like it lacked something, but what did it lack? They ran for a whole month, a page, a tribute page in every single comic.
But it seemed lame, though.
Uh,
Small, innocuous.
how did,
DC did the same thing, but it was far more impressive. It just felt
well,
offhanded, and of course, then we had a whole bunch of people making come of that, and this is probably what fueled some of that in my mind. I'm sure, but we had a whole bunch of people
I'm
who
sure
work for frickin'
Twitter
Marvel
wants
saying negative things, even to the point that finally he's dead. Happy that an old man who is an actual American icon who actually did something with their life was dead. Right?
mhm.
We talk about needing to be drop kicked. Right? Booster, suit up.
no, I'm suited.
Yeah. You sleep in that
I'm
shit
ready.
now?
Well,
Here we go.
no,
All
I'm
right,
not.
he's
I
gonna be
ain't gonna sleep.
Narutoing across the ocean to be drop kicking some people
Mm-hmm.
in his nice little tight outfit. He likes it so much he
My ninja
sleeps in it.
outfit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. It cups my balls.
It does. It does. It does. Anyway, cool. I will check that out for damn sure. Finally. Moving on. Ooh, goodness gracious, we're so much news today, Denali.
Right.
Uh,
So this is from Deadline. Patrick Stewart gets a makeup and Artist and Hairstylist Guild Honor Award.
I didn't even know he
I'm
did
still
that.
wondering. I'm still wondering. Okay, yay for the seventh annual makeup artist and hairstyle Guilds Award. So congratulations, Mr. Stewart, Sir Stewart.
Yeah, but they don't mention anything in here about anything he's ever done with makeup or hair.
He made their job easier because he had none.
Is that it? Is it that simple? Because I don't see anything here that's stating what he did or giving any kind of point of reference. I've never ever heard of him doing anything with this ever. If he has, if it's something that he's done in the background, which a lot of actors do stuff like that, rock on. I mean, cool. But this is a first for me. It's
Right,
like
that was surprising.
I have no idea, but other than the fact that Sir Patrick Stewart is a legendary actor whose myriad of characters live in our hearts forever. He's so deserving of this special recognition, spotlighting his award-winning stage and screen performances, and we celebrate his great collaboration with our talented artists, said Julie Sokash, president of IATSE Local 706. Oh, unions. What is you're not telling me anything. You're telling me he was an actor on stage, which you know he was. So what? What does that have to do with makeup? I don't know. But cool. I guess. All right, claps. Everybody claps. Claps.
Yeah,
Claps
he
for the
gave him
Patrick
claps.
Stewart. Claps.
Yay!
Yay. 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 Just give him an award, some kind of award. Just give him something. Oh goodness. I don't think I should click it, Dinale. I don't think I should click
Yeah,
it.
nope, don't click it.
I'm not clicking
Move,
it. Um,
move on. We
moving
don't have
on.
time for it.
We
We
don't
we
have
don't have
time
time
for it.
for it.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's true. But
yeah.
I will say this: I did watch this James Bond trailer. James, the No Time to Die trailer, and
Hmm.
it it was really boring. And I don't think I've ever had that experience before. James Bond is always kind of fun. It's always been kind of fun with the trailers and of course the movies, but it was boring. It's weird. It
Because
was
it wasn't James Bond. It was it's a setup
well,
to what's really going to happen.
the girl is going to take over, the black girl, yeah.
Hmm.
But to be fair though, in the trailer she only shows up a couple times. Now she's an annoying, bitchy character, which they always are these days. But she's not really a big part of the trailer. It's all him, right? But it's just the story seemed boring. It's like he's his love and he's got to save and he's got to what? It just didn't feel. It's weird because how many times recently have I watched a trailer? And I'm curious what you guys think about this because how many times have you watched a trailer recently where there's all kind of action going on the screen, gunfire, rah, 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 go, 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 but yet you're bored to death by it. This you don't feel anything
That
from it. What's up with that?
well, that's because there's no direction. Remember, we covered this in length that there's a lot of rewrites and scripts
Hmm,
changes and all that, and you can sense it. That's
yeah,
boiling it down. You can sense that there's no direction. They threw everything at the wall, all the slick moves, but you can feel that there's nothing meaningful behind those scenes that they presented, and that's why it's boring. It's not like there's a vision going in. There's a story that it's kind of being teased. It's like, oh, here's James Bond doing James Bond, moving on James Bond. Here's a woman James Bond.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, anybody else have an opinion on it? No. All right. But
Nope.
it was weird for me. It was weird for me. You guys should go check it out. I don't know why other channels can show trailers all they like, but every time we do it, they copyright strike every time. So I mean, it's like
Because
screw it.
you
And they
need to
didn't
put
used
you
to
need to put
though.
a
They're terrified
you need to
about
put
power.
you need to put a watermark or just show
Yeah,
your icon on top.
you're right. I could do that, and there's actually a way I could do that. I already have set up.
Mhm.
I could use the IndieCom
Yeah.
TV stuff,
Hmm.
but it didn't used to happen, and then it happened, and then it continuously happened. So it's like we got put on a list or something, and then it became automatic. But
Yeah.
whatever, I don't care. You guys go watch it yourself. But maybe let us know in the next show what you felt about it because I was shockingly boring to me. It was weird. But let's see here. Dewolf says no Bellet, then Valeria. Yeah, Valeria is a cool character too. Valeria, of course, is a very different character. If you guys ever seen the Conan movie, the lady, the blonde, in that movie was basically trying to represent Valeria, and she's very, very different than Bellet for sure. But Bellet, I get your point, but Bellet is the most important female in Conan's life. That was his true love, right? It's just a character I wish they didn't disrespect. As a matter of fact, I would have been much happier if they made a Valeria book and made her all SJW. I'd be like, oh, whatever, you can have it. But Bellet is important to Conan. But once again, we're getting other things that are good, so I guess we have to sacrifice it. March Hare says, Dark What? They have bleaching for that now. Oh goodness. Bullet says he was great as the voice of David Xanatos in Gargoyles. Oh yeah, Gargoyles, great show. I mean, now Booster, you're a bit young, but have you ever had a chance to see Gargoyles?
Oh, I remember Gargoyles coming on TV when I was very young, but it's been
Yeah.
so long since I've watched it. Nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
Gotta be. So I'd have to catch up on that someday.
Well, that actually was a
Mm.
stellar animated
Yeah.
series. It was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jennifer H. Hey, Jennifer. They are burning last of hardcore. They are burning the last of their hardcore fans. They are. Yeah, and maybe that's what they want. Marsh here says the way they've handled Lee and Kirby's contribution has been disgusting. You see the Tom Brevoort tweet, right? Yeah, no, I've seen many tweets. Yeah, you're right. But it's Marvel, right? Because it's the funny thing to me that DC showed far more respect for those dudes than freaking Marvel. These are their creators, right? But it is what it is. I've got to go. Have a good one, everyone. Hey, later, March here. Elrodimus flashes in Dune. Stewart rocked the Hulk Hogan mullet. He did, and he was really good in that. Patrick Stewart's a great actor. Eric says, there's Eric Boyd. The title for the new James Bond movie sounds good, but too bad the movie will be WTF. Yeah, actually, when I saw the trailer pop up in my YouTube suggestions. At first, because it's at a distance and I can only see a little thumbnail, of course I had the kind of bald character. I actually thought it was a new Bruce Willis Die Hard movie. Well, no, seriously. Yeah, and then I clicked. Oh, it's the James Bond thing. Okay. Gurney Halleck for the win. Oh, that means something, and I know what it means. What does that mean? Someone help me.
Dune.
Ah, yes. Thank you. Nostalgia car is cool to see. I agree. Aroma says, you saw every scene of Black Girl 00 agent in the trailer. She dies. Okay, well, there's been a lot of leaks I
I
haven't
think
been
so.
paying attention to. Well,
Hmm.
now, I kind of left it on this. Let me jump back over here real quick. I should do this when I do that. I should do like this when I go over and read the chat. But the thing with it is, and Dinale has mentioned this several times, and we've agreed with him. Is the fact that a lot of this stuff they come out with is testing the water to see if they can get away with it, and then they do these script changes. I think a perfect
Mhm.
example of that was all the leaks that were coming out about Bucky and Falcon being a gay lover buddy story. And they were testing the water to see if they get away with it with leaked rumors. It's not official, right? And of course, in the end, I don't think we're going to see that at all. I'm sure. But maybe that was the same thing that was going on with her. They were saying, "Hey, can we get away with making the next 007 with a different name, obviously, because they refer to him very clearly as James Bond, and they were clear in the trailer, and they refer to him very clearly as 007 in the trailer too." Right, so she's a double O of some kind. She's not 007. She's double O. He said because he says in the trailer, "Are you a double O?" And she says yes, and if you get in my way, I'll pull a bullet in your knee, the one that works, right? And because she's a very bitchy character, they're presenting her that way. So maybe they were just testing the water, but they already hired her, so they're going to use her, and maybe she will die in the end. I don't know, but I think Denali is absolutely perfectly correct on those assumptions.
Yep. Yep.
I know you want to say something, Todd. Go ahead, dude. I know you do. I can feel it, dude.
So you think she's gonna die in the one movie she's in? She's only in one movie.
I don't know. Someone said that in the chat. Maybe it's a rumor it's going around. I have no clue whatsoever. Yeah, but I do know from the trailer they make it very clear that she's not James Bond and she's not 007. They make it very clear, right?
Yeah.
Now at the end, maybe they'll kill Daniel Craig and make her the new 007, but that doesn't make sense because she's already a 00. So why would her number change? She already has a number. It's not 007. Which I have no problem with. You can throw any
Is
number
there
of 00s you want in there. That's fine.
is there some kind of mythos that I'm not aware of that maybe that's the highest rank? I don't
Oh,
know.
no, not that I know of. Although we do see a lot of history rewriting with people that want to say, well, this is acceptable canon. They did that with Doctor Who, which I thought was funny because they put out a character to create canon that they could then point to, right? If they do this kind of crap. But it feels to me that she's just a 00 agent. She's another 00, and that's nothing wrong with that at all. That's fine. So it's like
Well, they don't really address what her number is in the
no, they
trailer,
don't. They don't.
and
Yeah.
and they have M, which is played by the great Ralph Fiennes,
Yes.
asking for 007, but we don't. It's a cutaway to James Bond
You're
to
right.
get kind of infer, but it could be literally her. Bring me 007, and it's her walking
Yeah,
in.
but you're correct with that scene. But in the
Mhm.
scene where she is talking to him, she calls him 007. She calls him 007. She didn't call him James. She calls him 007. So he is referred to directly in a scene as 007 in the movie.
Yeah.
And he does, "What's your name?" "My name is James." And then the guy looks at him wanting the full name and he's like, "Bond, James Bond." As if it's like, fine, here, it has to be in the movie, fine, fine. It's like
Yeah.
they don't have any appreciation for nostalgia whatsoever. Anyway, it's a boring trailer, but go check it out. Let's see if we
Yep.
have anything else to cover here before we finish for today. Um, where was I? Oh yeah, I was here. Now, oh God, hold on a second. Hold on a second. There's one thing I want to cover real quick, and stop it. No, I don't want your stuff. Where am I doing here? How can I get rid of this? There used to be a way to click on it. I can't click on it now. Let me see
Looks like
here.
it.
Oh, you took away the option. Well, fine. You're not getting covered. Although that is talking about the Black Widow. Is it? Yeah, it's talking
Yeah.
about the trailer for Black Widow. Now that is a
Mhm.
trailer that I actually thought was interesting. That interests me. Now the only thing I would say about the Black, because I'm not going to show that trailer either. But the only thing that interested me, the thing that interested me the most about it, was the fact that I know Taskmaster is in it. I think I spotted the character that's supposed to be Taskmaster, but you would never guess it. You would never know. It doesn't have any visual cues that make it, Taskmaster, which is weird.
He's the guy in the bow.
Yeah, he's the guy with the mask, and I'm sure he is, but
Yes.
it doesn't reference Taskmaster at all, dude. It could be any character.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
What
it's
did you think of
weird.
the Red Guardian character that you see in the trailer?
It seemed funny. It seemed funny.
Hmm.
And it looks like they have a little bit of humor, but we also know we can trust Scarlett Johansson to be do a good job of Black Widow. Her real problem is she can't really carry a movie on her own very well. And hopefully they understand that, and they will have some good supporting characters like Redguard, which is seems like her father or adopted father or something like that, and that can help give her a good support structure so we can have a good movie from her. Because I like Scarlett Johansson, and the trailer looks fun. Go check it out for sure. Now, this right here is like Denali.
So this is from Newsarama again. Marvel fires the showrunners and all the writers for the upcoming, now in delayed and on Hazes. Sorry, on Hazes. Oh, I can't even say it. It's delayed for Hulu's Tigra and Dazzler. Remember before Jeff before Lowe left as president of the studios, he was saying Hulu will be getting 4 adult anime shows.
Yeah.
Tigger and Dazzler would be one of those.
Hmm.
Well, now they everything that they were doing was terrible. That they basically, nope, you're all fired. We're gonna have to rehire and start over again.
Yeah, well, Kevin Feige's in charge now, and he's
Yeah,
cutting heads is what he's doing, and
yeah,
that's good on him because it sounded nonsense for me because I don't like what they're doing in the comic books with Dazzler. They've made her a lesbian. I mean, full on
right,
lesbian. It's like, why? This is, I mean, there's some characters where, once again, I wish you just create new characters. But if you do, if it's just desperate that you must have lesbians and homosexuals, then, at least think about the ones you're choosing to make. Making Iceman a gay guy, it doesn't make any sense if you've ever read the character before. Whereas, and changing Dazzler is the same thing. It doesn't make sense that you're doing with that character. There's other characters, I haven't taken time to think about it, but I'm sure there's other characters that would make more sense to do with. But Dazzler's certainly not, and Tigra. I mean, really? And this was supposed to be an adult oriented, so who knows what kind of shenanigans they were up to? And Kevin Feige was put in charge, but he went over and looked at it, was like, oh my god, and just cut that immediately. Right?
yeah,
Because it just shocks me now to think of what the hell they were doing, dude. Because if you think that's being exaggerated, go watch the new Harley Quinn animated movie. Go check it out because that is pure SJW crap. Pure. I mean, it's unadulterated. It's like uncut cocaine, dude. Is how bad that movie is, and it's abusive to the Harley Quinn character. And I'm not a fan of Harley Quinn. You guys know that. But there's plenty of people who love Harley Quinn, and they must not. They must be upset about what's going on with her because it's like a character that they love, and they've just taken it and absolutely marred and mangled that character. Like I say, you don't have to take my word for it. You go watch that animated movie. You go check it out because I'm sure you can find it somewhere. Wink, wink. And you'll see absolutely how horrible that movie is. It's ridiculous, dude. And this sounded like the same crap. Now we also know with the four that Dinale just mentioned, we do have the Howard the Duck, which could be really cool if done right. Modak, which they're going to do that young hipster surf boy version. It's not going to be cool. Hit Monkey, maybe, and the Offenders. But I don't know. Anybody want to take a crack at this thing, dude?
I thought I heard about Modak as an animated thing.
Yeah, these are all animated, all of them. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And that's cool. I'm happy that that Disney is doing animated as well. I'm very happy about that. But
hmm
the other thing about Dazzler is she's a fine character. As an X-Men, I think she had certain points that were good. It's something the girls enjoyed. We actually have DeWolf, you guys know, and his little daughter enjoys reading Dazzler, and she's a Dazzler fan so much that her nickname on the internet is Dazzler, and that's great. I love that. But you're also twisting the character for that young girl. What message are you trying to send? I mean, honestly. But the other problem with Dazzler, though, unless you do a period piece, you cannot bring Dazzler into the modern age without completely rehauling the character. I mean, you would have to radically rehaul that character. I mean, we're talking Ariana Grande level of rehashing it, right? So I don't know. I don't even know how you do this in a modern time. What do you think about that, Todd?
Jeez, I don't know.
It's rough, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she could be like, yeah, like a Disney-esque pop singer, Hannah Montana kind of thing,
Right, but they'd have to
I guess.
completely change the character, right? Because her character is not timeless. Many comic book characters are timeless, but Dazzler
Right.
is not. She's kind of a niche thing. It's an era thing. She's an '80s girl, and that's kind of the end of the story. Maybe she should be updated though, because if they updated her to like what you said, like a Disney-esque type of character, she would become more timeless. Really, she'd be more useful in the future. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Possible.
Hmm. Any other comments?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, sad news.
Yeah.
No, I skipped a couple of things, and there was one thing. Here it is. Let's see. This one I don't care about. Whatever.
Actually, it's actually funny because basically the Bionic Woman producer Cameron Pasha uses Star Wars: The Last Jedi to teach about bad screenwriting and what to not do in screenwriting.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, it is an absolute masterclass in how to screw something up. That's for damn sure. But it is
Yeah.
interesting that a professional professor of screenwriting is is using it though. That is interesting. A little
And
bit of honesty there. Yeah.
yeah, and he even tweets out saying that a lot of screenwriters in Hollywood's are not saying anything bad about The Last Jedi because they are fear of Disney.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, of course. But no, the Last Jedi was an absolute tragedy. Is
yeah,
you know, I mean, because if we cut that out, if we get rid of that completely, we have the Force Awakens, which is an absolutely watchable movie. We have Rogue One, which is actually kind of fun, and we have Solo, which was not well, it just wasn't a good movie. But you know, the Jedi, it stands out so strongly because of how bad it really was. But we're not going to get in that conversation again. But
mhm,
good on you, Professor. Let me see here, which you don't hear me say that very often, even though I am one. Because it's weird, because I am one, right? But you don't hear
yeah,
me praising no damn professors very often because they're a bunch of cucks. I'm sorry, I do apologize. But where was it here? Yeah, this one. This is the one I was interested about because I didn't read this article at all, actually. But I saw the headline. I think Denali put this one up, or was it Somali?
yeah. No, that was me.
Is you okay? So I'm going to let
Yeah,
Denali do his thing and cover the story he wants to cover here. But uh, I saw the first movie where you had the baby Caesar, and it was like a fight on the bridge. And then after that, I didn't watch any of them. I think there's two more movies after that.
correct.
Not for any particular reason. I thought the first one I saw was fun. I don't know why I didn't watch it. I just didn't watch it. My wife wasn't interested. My kids weren't interested. We just didn't watch it at all. So I guess my question, as Denelli takes over the story here, is: were those movies any good? Should I go back and
They,
watch them?
I mean, if you want to compare it to kind of like the first three that you watch, no, but there is some social themes about the second two that are interesting, but they're not essential to watch it. Basically, it's kind of what the recent War and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes kind of retold those stories.
Hmm.
So if you watch those, it's kind of like the same thing um, about it. But you know, those movies, you should always watch them. They're always good, except for the Tim Burton one. That one shouldn't have happened
Yeah, it
at
was a
all.
bit odd. It was an odd movie. I get what he was doing with it, but it was a bit
Yeah,
odd. Yeah.
yeah. But Conquest of the Planet of the Apes and Battle of the Planet of the Apes, that was one of really good works for the guy who plays Caesar. Oh man, I'm skipping his name right
Andy
now.
Circus.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, not any circus, which is no one. Raleigh McDowell,
Oh,
who
Roddy
played
McDowell. You talk
the
about the old one. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
Those were yeah. Go ahead.
well, I could be. I'm sure I'm wrong, but the original Planet of the Apes run, it had themes. It had, they always use something to replace slavery. They always do.
Mhm.
One way or the other, always trying to go back. Even the X Men is basically, Stan Lee's kind of look at the original X Men. His look at what was going on with the civil rights movement. And this is a very common theme. We see it all the time. It's so obvious to see it. But in that movie, in the end, it was human centric. Oddly enough, in the original three. Was it three? Maybe four. Well, the original run.
it was actually
Uh,
five.
yeah, it was
Five.
quite a bit, but it was very human centric though. And it seems to me with the new one, I haven't watched them. I only saw the first one. It seems to be very ape centric, which
Well,
is
the Planet of the Apes was created by Rod Serling,
yes,
and originally, as I understand it, it was supposed to be a Night Gallery episode or a Twilight Zone episode,
yeah.
and then it got expanded into a movie.
Well, they were fun. I loved them for sure. They were really fun, but they didn't get as I know after the first one they weren't as good, but that's pretty standard. But I'm just saying it seems to be kind of a shift. But we do see a lot of things these days that want to put the human down, particularly the white ones and the male ones. But it's just anti-human in many ways. Anti-West, I guess maybe is a more accurate way to put it. And I guess I'm asking the politics of those two movies I didn't watch. Are they anti-West, anti-white man, anti-human?
The last two movies were dealing with racial tensions because it was during the civil movement, but also of nuclear winter and attack because we were dealing with the Cold War. So you're dealing with those two political
Yeah, all right, that's what I
themes.
thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mhm,
But I do love Andy Serkis, though. I mean, he's badass.
mhm.
That's for damn sure. But
Yeah.
cool. We're going to get more Planet of the Apes, and I know there's people who really love those franchise, that franchise, and they've made money. So, good on them. More work for Andy. I'm a pro Andy getting work. So
Mhm.
rock on. Let's go to our last story of the day, which is I'm going to try to do this consistently if I can. I want to end with comic book news, actual comic book news, and I know that's going to make Booster very happy.
And Booster left.
That's okay. We went over our time, but that's all
Yeah.
right. This is our last bit, and we're going to end. But go ahead.
So Top Cow is republishing the classic Witchblade comics in new collected editions. So and they're partnering up with Image Comics to accomplish that.
Yeah, which is cool, right? I mean, there's a lot of Witchblade fans. We talked quite a bit about this guy, and he's very clever. He knows how to use the crowdfunding thing very successfully. He's an example of how to do that. Um,
Whoa, whoa,
um,
whoa, whoa! This is Top Cow. They don't use crowdfunding.
I'm talking about the creator of Witchblade, and
He's
what
dead.
the yeah, but they keep pushing the. Am I thinking of
No,
another character? No, I'm
you're
not.
thinking of Lady Death. You're
Lady
thinking of Lady
Death.
Death.
Oh, I apologize. I'm an idiot. Okay. Um,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, I'm sorry.
this one was with Turner that passed away.
Oh, okay. All right. I mixed
Yeah.
them up. I apologize. Uh, but
Mhm.
um, but yeah, no, I still think it's cool though. I mean, put them together in a collection, and I don't know how many of you guys read Top Cow, but I kind of like Top Cow. I don't know what it is. I don't have so many Top Cow stuff, but when I do get a Top Cow thing, I'm happy I have it. I don't know. It's kind of like Boom Studio. Is it Boom Studios? Is that the name of the one, Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like their whenever I get a Boom Studio stuff, which I usually get trades, hard covered trades from those guys. But
Mhm.
I'm just happy to have it. I kind of like Top Cow and Boom particularly.
I mean, I think the tragedy of Cow was if they were able to focus and manage their business a little bit better, they would have been would have been like the top three. It's DC, Marvel, and Top Cow because of how popular they were
Yeah,
back in the day.
yeah, no, I like
And
Top Cow,
yeah,
and this is cool
and they were
news.
producing really awesome comic books. So I just feel a little sad about the state of Top Cow, but I'm glad that they're still truggling along.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, me too.
Unfortunately, I mean, I don't like to bash anybody, but they let one guy write a lot of stuff, and he's not very good. But he writes almost everything out of there.
Oh,
They used to go after guys like Garth Ennis and stuff like that.
mhm.
Come write some of our characters, and that kind of has gone away. So you got Matt Hawkins, who's not a very good writer, writing like 90% of everything that comes out of Top Cow. And of course, you don't see much of Silvestri because he's been working on this Batman limited series for
yeah.
over 6 years.
Yeah.
Hmm. But
So
I think I remember even Top Cow like 2 months ago was holding a contest to get more writers or looking for a new writer for that.
no,
So
you're right. Yeah, I did hear something like that. But I don't know what it is about Top Cow. Because Top Cow and Boom Studios hold the same space in my brain. You got Marvel, DC, Image, IDW. Pfft. Well, they do some good stuff too, I guess. But I've never been a big IDW guy. Although they are making one of my favorite new comics right now. But Dynamite, I have a few Dynamite books, and it's fine. Dynamite's fine, but I just always liked Top Cow. Maybe it's just the absolute absurdity of the name. I don't know. Maybe it's the production value. I'm not sure. But I've always liked Top Cow. But anyway, Witchblade, a volume collection from Top Cow. Awesome. If you're a fan, I've never been a big fan of the Witchblade character or the Lady Death character, but I do apologize for my confusion of that. But I know that there's a lot of fans for it, though. So go ahead. And there's a bunch of, I've seen at least two, if not three, at least two animated movies about Witchblade, and one of them was Japanese made. It was an anime of Witchblade.
And there was a TV show.
And there was
Of
a
Witchblade.
TV show. You're absolutely right. There was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch some of that. It was weird. But anyway, let me jump back over here because we are at the end of the show. Let me catch up in the chat and then we'll get out of here. But
Sure.
let me see here. I saw some interesting things in the chat. Let me see here. Let me catch up where I was. Nostalgia car is cool to see. Okay. You saw everything. Okay. I read that. Double O Ho. Okay. Erodimus says Bond Formula 2, Bond Girls. One drives a story, one dies. That's true. The clickbait stuff was just that clickbait to stir outrage and get tons of free publicity. It's a fair point, dude. It's a fair point. And like I said, Denali's made that point several times. He continues by saying, Taskmaster is a woman, Rachel Weisz. Now, I guess, is he trolling or is this an actual rumor? I don't know. But Eric says, if you look closely at Taskmaster, he has a skull face mask on the lower half of his mask, and he has a hood, but it is down, but has the correct colors as his costume. Well, I'll have to go back and watch the trailer again because I was looking for him and I said, okay, I guess that's who Taskmaster is supposed to be, but it didn't stand out to me. And maybe they're just trying to hide him in the trailer. I don't know. I'll watch it again. Hawkins continues by saying, we all like ScarJo. Is that her name? Hubba Hubba Hubba. I never found her that attractive, but I like her though. She seems like a nice lady. Bullet says, "Hi, ate us." Eric Boy says, Scarlett has support. Let me give her a couple of hands. I'm helpful that way. Okay. Jennifer thought that was funny. The hell. James Beveridge says Sterling and not Sterling. That's a good point. Twilight Zone. Eric says Planet of the Apes was a sci-fi novel written by French author Pierre Boulet. For your information, I didn't know it had a Rod Sterling connection. Neither did I, but it makes sense.
Right. He wrote the first screenplay for Planet of the Apes.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
But I'm not, I just not up on that stuff, I guess. But yes, James Beveridge, I agree 100%. Andy Serkis's characters are really good. He's good at what he does. And if you go check him out in Black Panther, even though he has kind of a small part in that movie, he's great in it. Erodimus says, breaking news. Top Cow still exists. Oh, so sad. Sheldon Martin says, didn't Top Cow use Kickstarter for Cyberforce? I don't know. Maybe they did. Bullet says Darkness, Witchblade, Hunter Killer, etc. There you go. Yeah, I've heard of Darkness before. I kind of know the cosmology of Witchblade to a point. It's something. It's almost, if I remember correctly, it's almost touching on a little bit of the universal galactic force, kind of similar to what King was doing in his It novel. I think. Let's see here. Bullet, the Witchblade anime is canon. Lol. Is it? That's cool. I did watch it. Eric says, hey, go ahead. Todd?
I think he was talking to his wife.
I see. Eric says, Chester thinks all Bobs look alike. That is incorrect, sir. I prefer a handful. I don't like the ones that are watermelon size. I think the veininess of them put me off. But that's a conversation for another day, sir. Bullet says, some people seem to think Taskmaster is Hawkeye. Oh. That would be really, really weird because of the bow. Oh, I see. Well, he is a master of all weapons. DeWolf gives us our last comment of the day, and he says, "Bad editing on the trailer." There. Maybe I'm going to go watch it again and see if I can take a closer look at the character that I assumed was actually the Taskmaster character. DeWolf also puts up a link so you guys can go check out a project. I'm assuming maybe his project. I don't know which one he's putting up, but thank you very much, DeWolf. So let's come back over here the other side, and I am going to let Mr. Todd have his closing comments.
Well, I don't really know what to say.
You can say, "I love all of you very much."
No, you know what? Again, I always like to. We're here because we love comics, right?
Yeah.
So, you just gotta look for them because there's good stuff out there.
Oh, there
We
is.
talked a little bit about some good stuff, and man, if you're not reading Seven to Eternity, you're really missing something. You
I
know, and all
did
the
check that out after you mentioned it, actually.
yeah, what'd you think?
Oh, it's pretty good, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Look, Ed Brubaker, Matt Fraction, these are some of my top go-to writers. Write really good stuff, and they don't, they've kind of outgrown the whole superhero genre, and not that they don't still do stuff over there with the superheroes, but they're just writing their own things, and that's usually when people put the passion into what they want to do, right? Is when it's something they are invested in. Trust me, it's something I deal with every day. Like I really want to do my thing, but I keep getting pulled to the side to do somebody else's thing. And granted, I want to get paid, but um, you have all kinds of hurdles that you end up going through with whoever you're working with.
Yeah.
They want to do this or they want to do that, and it's like, why would you want to do that? And it's just when it lacks a certain, I don't know, zeal.
Sure. And that it's a fair point with the artist too, because it takes you guys so long to produce your art that if you are working for someone consistently, or even temporarily, like with a limited run or something, you don't really have a lot of spare time to work on your own thing because it just consumes your time to do a single page in a day, right?
Right.
So it's a different for you guys. It's difficult, and it's difficult to get enough money to be able to pay an artist to be a professional artist full time. It's difficult, dude. It really is. But I get you, 100%. And we talk about new comics that were not new, but new things I've been reading because of things you mentioned, Todd. Because Todd actually has mentioned several things to me over the many months. I go checking them out, and they're really good. Another one he had mentioned, I don't know, I can't remember exactly what you said about it, but I think it's called East of West or West of East. East of West, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's
East of
another
West.
Image book.
Yeah, yeah, and you mentioned that to me, and I went and checked it out. I can't find enough of the issues to really get my teeth in it. I don't
Hmm.
know why. Is it inconsistently printed? I'm not sure. But I like what I've read so far. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting take on the apocalypse. Very
Hmm.
interesting. And I've been enjoying that as well. So there you go. Thank you, Todd. George, yell at him. George.
He's sleeping. You can't hear him
George.
snoring. He's snoring.
No, I'm right here, guys. I've just been working on something in the side.
Okay.
Come on. I could hear you snoring.
Well, I have a stuffy nose. It's been pretty bad up here. We have a lot of snow,
Oh.
and it's just been bad on my nasal.
Anyway, your closing statements, George.
What do you want to tell you? I mean, it was a happy day for me. You guys were angst, and I was unangst.
That's an absolute lie.
He might be right. He didn't say much. He
Now,
got
well,
all his angst
during the
out before.
show, he just pisses
Right.
us all off before the show.
Right. Which is fine.
I
So I think
guess.
he might have an accurate statement there by saying, hey, I was the happy-go-lucky one, and you guys are tearing things apart.
All right,
Especially
fine.
poor
George gets
Patrick
to be the
Stewart
happy-go-lucky one. Fine.
picking him because he's bald.
Yeah, that's probably why. But I do have to say though, we did have a couple of negative things today, but there's a lot of positive too, though. And we do try to do more and more comic news if we can, direct actual comic book stuff. And of course, we want to be mix the positivity with the ranting. So hopefully, we found some balance with that today. But thank you for being here, George, and of course, thank you all very much. Do keep in mind tomorrow we have our normal show, and of course, we have the Drawn and Quartered Ultimate Edition at. Of course, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me check real quick our schedule over there. I'm jumping over. I'm in there now to see what we're going to be doing. Thanksgiving's canceled. We have Bric-a-Brac. Ooh. That's nice. The next couple of shows. Oh, Tales from the Classroom. That was actually pretty cool. I talked to Rob Muerto about that. So we're doing Bric-a-Brac tomorrow, and so it's supporting indie creator and giving them a chance to talk to them about their book and talk to them about what's going on. So check us out for that. But other than that, I'm going to turn this over to the Dinale Lama and let him take us out.
All right. Well, thank you, Chester. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining for Comics News Today. Please hit that subscribe, share, and like button. That shows YouTube that you enjoy watching our shows, and maybe stop throttling us each time. But it's what is.
Sure.
Join us tomorrow for our shows. Join us on Saturday for Fan Speak at 8 p.m. and TFT at 8 p.m. on Sunday. But remember, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Later, guys.
Aloha.